Congratulations on the EP. It's a absolutely fantastic EP, and we're going to start playing Black on our show this week. So congratulations.
Oh, no worries. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you playing it for sure.
So, mate, tell us a little bit about this EP. How did it come into being for you?
So, I mean, over the past couple of years, I've been kind of doing the YouTube thing, and there was always that looming question of when you're going to put out original music. And after watching other YouTubers for so many years, people like Ola England, Jared Dines, and they're always saying things like, don't put out music unless people are going to listen to it, kind of thing. So when that did come about and it started to get to a point where I knew that people would be listening if I put stuff out, that's when I really started seriously thinking about actually putting out music and getting ideas from a couple of years ago or whatever and just making them into full songs and with new elements in there and stuff like that. So yeah, it wasn't so much of like a, am I going to do it? It was more so just when, and I was just like waiting for the perfect moment to do it.
Where did the whole YouTube idea start off for you as well? Because that's something that we've seen, as you said, a few musicians do recently to begin their career. Tell us a little bit about what sparked YouTube as the way for you to start getting your music out there.
Well, it's funny because the whole YouTube thing just kind of really came out of nowhere, if I'm being completely honest. I remember one day, it must have been like early 2018, my favorite guitarist, Misha Mansour, just released his signature software with a company called Joey Sturgis Tones, and I got in touch to do like a video review on it. And at this point, there was no subscribers, no viewers, no nothing, but I was into home recording and stuff like that. So I kind of just went, yeah, why not? Let's just make a video and see what happens. And I think that first video ended up getting 25,000 views or something, which is ridiculous at the time, considering that there was no following at all. And then from there, I guess I thought to myself, well, this whole YouTube thing isn't that bad. I like doing it. It's fun. So I just kind of kept doing it, and I guess the numbers just kind of kept growing over the years and stuff like that.
Yeah. Now, your interest in music started way back when you were 5 years old and you were given a guitar. Tell us a little bit about that journey. Did you come from a very musical family?
Well, I guess so. I mean, I know I have a lot of relatives that are very into music. So dad's Persian, mum's Italian. On dad's side, there's relatives all over the world. Some play for the symphony, like the London Orchestra, something like that. I can't exactly pinpoint it, but there are a lot of musicians on both sides of the family. But mum and dad don't play instruments, and most of my aunties and uncles don't, or grandparents don't. So I guess me and my younger brother, who also plays piano, we were just kind of brought into it. Not that we were forced into it or anything, but it was kind of the thing of here's a guitar, and I guess I just never really put it down. Yeah.
So you got given your first guitar when you were 5 years old. When did you actually start to write your own music and explore that side of the industry?
Well, I want to say writing my own music. I think the first proper song I ever properly wrote, not recorded or anything. I remember performing it at a school performance. I want to say it was when I was about 11, 12 years old.
Yep.
And there was an assembly in primary school, and the teacher said, "Do you want to play?" And I said, "Sure." And I made up a song, and I played it on a Friday assembly. So I think that's my earliest memory of actually making a song. But in terms of recording it and doing it properly, I guess the whole YouTube thing kind of falls into where you're doing demo tracks and stuff for companies and stuff. So there's a lot of little 30, 45 second riff demos and stuff. But in terms of writing a proper song, start to finish, recording it, mixing it, mastering it, this is the first time with Black and the rest of the EP.
Now, with this EP, tell us a little bit about what was inspiring the tracks themselves when you sat down to write them.
Right. So with the whole Black, White and Grey, the EP is called Gradient, and each song on it is called Black, White and Grey. Black is the super heavy one, very dark. White is a little bit more happier, and then Grey is the marriage between both. So I guess that was kind of my way of trying to sneak all of my influences in one EP with some justification without, just sticking to super heavy or sticking to the more melancholy stuff, because I really do enjoy both, and both of that stuff from bands across the board have really inspired my playing and the way I think as a musician. So I guess that was just kind of my way of touching all bases conceptually and making sure that everything that I was trying to say was getting heard, I guess.
So do you write more about the emotions that you're going through at that moment, or do you write about like what's going on in the world at that time?
Well, I think because it's instrumental, it's a little bit harder to convey feeling and emotion through the song. And I was very well aware of that when I was writing, and of course I'm into all types of music, whether it's instrumental or not, but I think the main takeaway from writing anything, for me at least, is if someone listens to it and goes, oh, this sounds sick, this makes me want to pick up my guitar or my instrument and play, that's genuinely what I care about the most. It's not so much about emotions or what's happening in the world at the time. If my music can inspire someone else to pick up their instrument and play and kind of look at me like as if I've done everything myself, and that it's very achievable to do that as well, just like I've been trying to do with the YouTube videos and stuff like that, with the more educational stuff. That's the biggest thing. That's like the main takeaway that I'd like, for sure.
And what was it like for you during the lockdowns and things like that? Did that actually give you an even better chance to be able to work on this EP?
Well, for the lockdowns and stuff, there was a little bit of a period where I guess I was, everyone was feeling a little bit blue. I didn't post a video for a while, but I think in that time I definitely did get stuck down with writing and recording the EP because I did it all at home. There's a lot of variables out of control, like making sure no one's in the house and stuff like that so I can record it properly. And, really, because I did it by myself, I had a lot of time to do everything exactly the way that I wanted with the lockdown and everything. Everyone's home, might as well be doing something. But in saying that, because it was all done by myself, there wasn't really anyone to tell me, oh, this is like, okay, let's move on to the next thing. It's like, no, let's nail this one riff for 3 hours until we can finally record it properly. So that was a little bit of a challenge, and I definitely did need to learn on how to like let go of something and move on to the next thing, which is great, so I can use that next time for the next single, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And you're going to be launching the EP live on March 18th. How excited are you about being able to get out there and play live again?
Extremely. I cannot wait. Me and my bandmates, we've been really prepping hard. It's gotten to the point where we're not so much worried about the actual like performance because we've practiced so much and we know what we're playing. We're more worried about like a technical fault or something like that, because there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. Like everything's on rails. There's like light shows happening and stuff. And I have been told that it would be a wise idea to like live stream it as well on the YouTube channel. So that's a whole other can of worms that I don't really know if I want to open right now, but I guess we kind of have to think about it because it probably would be beneficial to do so, but we can cross that bridge when we come to it for sure.
Yeah, and what are your plans for the future now? Like, because it seems like our borders are opening up here in Australia, so will you be looking to do shows in other states, and then eventually, because you've got such a worldwide audience, will you look to do shows overseas as well?
If we're thinking like big picture, absolutely. Overseas seems a little bit of a stretch right now, but I definitely would love to go interstate, especially like Melbourne and stuff. Meet other people in my field, in my genre. For example, like Rohan from Eye of the Sky. He's like another Australian modern metal progressive guitarist. Just getting in touch with people like that, going to shows, touring interstate, that is a dream. Yeah, I would absolutely love to do that for sure. And it's probably going to be something that I'm going to definitely pursue in the near future once borders are a little bit more lenient and stuff like that.
Awesome. Now the big question is, where are people going to be able to get a chance to grab a copy of this EP, and also how can our listeners out there right now support you, seeing we know Ephraim Muso has been through a tough time over the last few years?
Yeah, so at this stage it's available on all streaming platforms. There will also be a Bandcamp set up, so you can support me as an artist and purchase the EP, but there's also other ways. Like I just started a merch run, which was a whole thing in itself, so there is merch available, as well as things like tabs and the individual stem files for each song, so you can download them with all the instruments separate and mix it the way I did, as well as like Patreon and stuff. All of this stuff is available on my web store, keyanhoushmand.selfie.store. But apart from that, just checking out the song would mean the world to me, whether it's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. It would all be there.
Awesome. Well, mate, we are going to play Black on our show right now. So what would you like to say to everybody out there before they get a chance to listen to Black, perhaps for the first time for some of them?
Okay, if you're listening to this song for the first time, strap in because it's going to be one hell of a bumpy ride, that's for sure.
Awesome.